Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Totalbiscuit from the WoW podcast Blue Please over on CynicalBrit.com. I would like to give you a look at the new Mount Hyjal zone. Of course, this already existed, technically, but there was no way into it. You may have seen tiny parts of it in various hacked videos, but this is a look at the whole thing, Cataclysm style, and most of this will, of course, be done from the air. That is the Nordrassil World Tree, rather impressive, as I think you will agree. This zone is a lot larger than just the Nordrassil area, however. Much, much larger, and a lot of it is quite desolate. The storyline in this zone, and of course, video is spoilers, as you would expect. Storyline, based on my limited understanding of the lore, is that the Twilight cultist guys, who are always up to no good and making trouble in our neighborhood, have decided to summon Ragnaros the Fire Lord again. And what does Ragnaros want to do when he's grouchy and is just being woken up from an eternal slumber after being beaten into the ground by hundreds of thousands of raiders? Well, he wants to burn the World Tree, which could be a little bit inconvenient for all concerned. Now, this is the starting quest hub. There's about 3 quests available to start you off. This zone makes massive use of phasing. So, there are things that I would like to show you that I cannot, such as, well, Ragnaros, because he's part of a later phase of this particular zone. This is the first opening phase. This is how you get in there fresh after doing no quests or anything in this zone. What I'll also show you is the level of loot that you can expect, and those of you who've never been through an expansion transition before are going to be shocked. Those of you who've done Vanilla to TBC, probably not so much, but what I will say to all of the old school players out there is that you can expect a Vanilla to TBC style transition here in terms of gear. May I introduce the most annoying mob ever created by man? Scalding Rock Elemental, which has a fire dot which does about 10 damage a second and silences you for the duration. Why would you make something this terrible? It's horrendous. My first thought was that they designed this area with groups in mind, so if you've got a tank at the front that doesn't use mana, then that dot's going to be a non-issue, but it seems to me, after talking to a number of people that have been playing this zone and have done it in its entirety, that, yeah, most of it can be done solo, except for all the big stompy encounters, as you might imagine. So yeah, enjoy sitting here as the dot ticks and silences me. Try to get a maximum distance and nuke them down. Get away! Pesky bastard. There you go. Those of you who have not noticed, Arcane Missiles is now an activatable ability that procs. So, in Wrath, the normal rotation for an Arcane Mage would involve spamming Arcane Blast until you got your Missile Barrage proc, and then hitting the Missile button. As it turns out, they've made that part of the game now. You cannot cast unless that is available. You should see a little flashing buff up there in the top right, and now you see that the Arcane Missiles is greyed out. Like I say, we're not going to spend too much time on the questing here. I want to show you the lore characters. I want to show you the areas. Look at that. What a beastly item. Aside from the lack of slots, that green available at level 80 from killing a couple of rock elementals is better than tier 10. It's a very drastic switchover. Those of you, again, who have done Vanilla to TBC will be aware of that, although honestly, I would have preferred it if they didn't go so crazy with the gear reset. I think that's a little excessive, but hey. It is kind of nice to get new gear, even if it makes you look like an idiot. Skittles Troll will make his reappearance. Okay, let's get the hell out of here. Too many players around. Oh, a nice little lake they've got there. It's got food colouring in it. That's Ysera, who I am told is important. I pay no attention to the lore, I just raid. It's the image of Ysera, who is apparently fading in and out of, I think, the Emerald Dream or something like that. Most of these models will be placeholders, I would think. There's a couple of other characters like Malfurion. He's in this zone as well. And he does look like a placeholder model. I imagine they will spruce him up for the release. Okay, so this area is large, as you saw from the map. I'll refer to the map several times. Getting lost is kind of dumb. First things first, it's a gigantic hole in the ground. By the looks of it, this will be... well, it could be part of a pre-Cataclysm event. The thing is, you wouldn't be able to see it. Maybe it's part of a cinematic. It's got something to do with Archimonde. I have no idea what exactly. Indeed, that may have been there all the time. Potentially from Warcraft 3. We just never noticed it. Because, of course, we could never get into this zone. The Rim of the World. Yes, indeed. There's a lot of nice-looking areas here. There's one later on that I really want to show you. If you like Lord of the Rings, let me put it that way, you'll be either appreciative or furious of what Blizzard have done. Okay. Let's go see Malfurion. Let's see what he has to say for himself. Again, looks like a placeholder model to me, although you never know, might not be. Doesn't have his voice actor as of yet. And that opens up one of the big lines, and obviously you've got to start killing things. I'm not going to do that because it's a waste of time. What you will have seen right there is a nice little bit of UI. They have integrated Ratings Buster into the game so that you can easily see what items are better than others. It's probably a good idea and a little bit overdue. Pick up these just for the sake of them. At least give us some reference points to various areas on the map. Now, there's something in the middle of that crate that I think you should see. What could it be? Archimonde's Vengeance is the name of the area. Just a bit of fire in the middle of the ground there. It's interesting. Wait a minute. What's that? Oh, it's Baron Geddon. Welcome back. And it looks like he's poning noobs. Even better. You can't kill him. He sticks on 1 HP and has a rather large inferno that does kill people. Look at all of the bones around it. And he just killed another guy right there. Gotta love it. They seem to be trying to keep him in check, but there's not much they can do. Apparently somebody never did Molten Core. Don't stand in the fire waves. I'm taking a bit of damage to heal myself up here. A couple of other characters around here, then we'll go and fly. I'm just going to speed it up here, because quite frankly, this is a waste of your time. Now, I'm going to speak to Alicira, who's apparently above Archimonde's Vengeance. Get myself up to combat. And of course, I was thinking, maybe she's on the ridge. Oh, hang on, that sounds like a dragon. Now, above, you actually do genuinely mean above, don't you? Where is she? Oh, yeah, that thing. Totalbiscuit's peripheral vision can be added to the list of things he's not very good at. I know. So I'll just hand that in for the time being. As regards to questing experience, I've been told that the level 80 to 85 takes about as long as 70 to 80. That's been confirmed by Blizzard's Cat Hunter over Twitter, so I would imagine it is fairly accurate. Okay. Flying time. We're going to go sightseeing, so I'll speed it up because this is a large zone and flight time is fairly long. There are a number of large and fairly unpleasant mobs hanging around in various areas here. Also these twilight portals you will see. The Flame Wake and Nemesis, the giant fiery sea turtle thing. And I just got knocked off my mount and randomly killed for no apparent reason. I have no idea what caused that, honestly. I looked through my combat log later and I'm thinking, did I get hit by something? No, I just randomly dismounted and died. Gotta love the bugs. There you go, fixed through the wonders of modern editing technology. Someone's trying to take on Giant Turtle Guy. Destroyer of Worlds. If you're gonna make a big, tough, dangerous monster, could it be something a little bit more intimidating than a turtle? And look at it, it looks like a dopey bastard. I'm sure it's a very nice person, but I'm not gonna take the time to get to know it. Let's get the hell out of here. This place is full of bugs. Can do without falling to my death anymore. What the hell is that? Oh look, it's Barad-dûr! No, seriously, what is that? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sauron... sorry, no, that's not right. Sulfuron Spire, yes, that's it. It's fairly blatant. I do know that Blizzard loves to take inspiration and ideas and, say, wholesale content from other fantasy media, but really now, there's even Mount Doom in the background. Oh well, it's really nice looking, I'll give them that, so I suppose I can let them off. Let's go and have a look around. You will note the improved lava effects, which is kind of important if you want to base an entire expansion around most of the world falling into lava. That is nice texture work, though. Particularly like the fiery runes on the side there. Look, it's an instance portal. Yes, indeed. The Sulfuron Spire is a dungeon of some description. However, you cannot get in as of yet. It is locked out. I'm going to try it anyway, though. I am swimming through the twisted fiery ether and dying. Probably best I leave now. Dear Lord, I have no idea. Alright. I'm a little worse for wear after that. Nice looking, though, isn't it? Very intimidating. Although I have to wonder how they managed to build it there without anybody noticing. Man, if I was in the Alliance Commanders meeting when they discovered that, I would be embarrassed. So, guys, how exactly did we miss them building a 200-foot fiery tower of doom in the middle of Mount Hyjal? Well, sir, we couldn't get into the zone because Blizzard locked it off. I see. That's not a valid strategic explanation! Okay, we're going to go to the west and show you some of the stuff over there, and then we shall show you the areas to the east as well. So far, though, very cool-looking zone and a lot of variety. It makes sense. The whole theme of Cataclysm is not just, well, a cataclysm, but it's a war of the elements. So, a lot of fire in this particular area where we've got fire elementals and, of course, the minions of Ragnaros. This is a roost of some description. Do I want to be hanging around when Mummy comes back home? I think not. There appears to be twilight drakes around here. You can see them flying around, but you can't click them. These are only pieces of scenery. They don't actually attack. If you could see my cursor, you'd see me frantically trying to click on them. Okay, what else have we got? Let's head over this way. We'll speed this up for the flight time. What you will notice in some of these areas is that they're very empty. Now, there are a couple of explanations for this that I'll give you in just a moment, because I'd like to show you another sea turtle. What is it with the damn sea turtles? That's a placeholder model, as you can see. It even says so. I am terrified by the sea turtle. According to this text, at any rate. I have no idea what's with the turtles. There must be some kind of grand overarching plot involving turtle warfare. It's high quality stuff right there. Gotta reuse those models. Man, this place is wrecked. But it's okay, because his goods are of the highest quality. Just the place you want to find a vendor in the middle of a fiery apocalypse. They should just replace him with a goblin, then at least, you know, they'd have experience in selling during a fiery apocalypse. I wonder what the margin on lava rocks are these days. Let's head on over here. Now, as regards to this zone's placement in the world, it actually links into Dark Whisper Gorge, and it's quite close to Ashara. You will notice some art assets that are fairly similar to both. That tower, for one thing. This is a nice shiny area, nothing going wrong here. Except for, you know, the fire and the destruction over there. We could just forget about that. Pay no attention. So we've got a nice little garden here. Very, very dainty. That must be the first Flight Master I've seen all week. I don't think they've put them all in yet. Funnily enough, I don't have any flight locations on this character. There you go. I'm glad to see the Dryads are chilling and not too concerned about the apocalypse that awaits them. They always seem to be so happy-go-lucky about everything. Let's get out of here. Okay, and what else is there to look for? Well, there are a few other areas. One down here. Again, a lot of this stuff won't really see relevance until later on in the questing line. These areas will be phased. Now, what I did find is generic Ogre Cave 573, aka Gargle's Hovel. I want to go inside, and what you will see is an Ogre Cave that looks like every other Ogre Cave ever made. Probably should put that on my hotbar. Go away. Thank you. You will note that you can actually see mobs now in invisibility. You couldn't do that before, unless, of course, the mobs could see you. These guys blatantly can't. This will be part of a questline. There's nothing especially interesting in here, unfortunately. I wanted to see if there was anything cool, but there isn't. Except for the Stargate. There'll be gold coming through there at this very moment. I can guarantee it. At least in the live. Confirmed feature, folks. Gold, the new Alliance race. And impossible to pronounce. Now, all I wanted to do is have a look around, and you just had to make it difficult. A use for slow. No, there is no use for slow. Outside of PvP. You can deal with them. I am leaving. Thank you very much. I'm sure you have to kill them for questing anyway. I don't want to do a huge amount of quests in the beta, specifically because I'm going to have to do them again in live. I hate doing that. Things like starting areas and other races, that's fine, because I know I'll never do them again. I'm not the kind of person that plays alts. But this stuff, I'd prefer not to do it. I'm trying to show you as much as possible, but if I'm going to actually play the game in live, I would like to have a few surprises. Let's have a look at our map and see where we can go. So, we need to go over to the eastern side. Now, there's a few other things to show you, as well as the entrance to Dark Whisper Gorge. I'll speed things up so that we can get through this a little faster. You will note from my videos that a lot of these new or changed zones are significantly larger than one might have expected from another expansion pack. The reason being that you've got a compressed leveling experience from 80 to 85. They're trying to tie together a large narrative across multiple levels, and the best way to do that is to have a lot of different levels take place in a single zone. So I'd imagine you're going to be in Hyjal from maybe 80 to 82, I would think. That's a guess, of course. And you're seeing all of these different areas that are separated simply by the aesthetic. You can tell where you are by looking. It's like, hey, this is a desolate place, this one's on fire, or this one's a little garden paradise in the middle of nowhere. As opposed to having genuinely different zones, it is areas within a larger overarching zone. Other Ring guys defending a burnt-out shed by the looks of it. I can't imagine why. We're about halfway to where we need to be, so let me accelerate this once again. Now we're entering the areas that are genuinely empty. It may be because they haven't put content in there yet, but I would imagine, particularly considering what you're about to see right here, is that this is phased. Because, hey, Cenarius right there. Placeholder model, once again, as you can see. He's got nothing to say to us. All this is just them hanging around. Will be part of a much later quest chain in this zone, I would think. In the meantime, some real unpleasantness. Seems like WoW's managed to master the Gears of War style of brown. It took them about 6 years, but there you go. An entirely brown zone, and this is totally empty. Nothing in it at all. It has a name, no mobs, no structures, nothing. The Twilight Gauntlet. Not much of a gauntlet, really. Looks like the Twilight Guards are slacking off somewhere. I have no idea where. And there's the entrance right there to Dark Whisper Gorge. We'll have a look on the map. That's where we are relative to everything else. You can quite clearly see all the way up there. We're actually under Everlook. And of course the Winter Spring Zone. I'm going to fly north just to have a look at the border of that. Once again with those crystals. They're multi-purpose. They slice, they dice. They summon evil demons. And possibly elementals. Multi-purpose. Now, this is the new entrance to Winterspring via Hyjal. Fairly sure this was not here before. Then again, the last time I was in Winterspring, probably about maybe 3 years ago. Ah, that music brings back some memories, absolutely. We're not going to look at that right now, we're going to hop back in there. I can't imagine they've changed a massive amount. Now, we're coming towards the end of this. There is one last area I will show you, and then that about covers it for our little tour right here. Overall, it's a very, very nice zone. I don't think anyone's going to complain about the aesthetic here, but the real trick and the real attraction of it is the fact that it's so very phased, and that's difficult to show without doing the entire zone and then, say, time-lapsing various areas of it. What I would recommend to everyone is quite simply experience it for yourself. I don't really see any need to spoiler all of that, and honestly, it's going to take a very long time to get through this zone. It's a good couple of levels worth of content as far as I can see. A lot of questing areas here, a lot of places to explore. Okay, that's about me done for the time being, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been Totalbiscuit, and that was a look at the brand new Hyjal zone. I shall see you next time.